can be a combination of a joint with a scope or, two scopes or two joints. It just varies.
Okay. So about 2 days, so operating, let's say on average, operating about 2 days per week, and then 2 to 3 procedures per day.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So out of those procedures that you do, are there any that you would see more likely to be in outpatient setting?
I guess first of all, the scopes are essentially outpatient procedures, knee and shoulder scopes.
Yeah.
The question is about the hip and knee replacements. As I said, it boils down to patient selection and giving them a good pain control so that they don't return to the visit and you are not dinged for a patient returning to the ER or the hospital for looking for pain control or for excessive blood loss.
Okay. All right. So knee and hip are more likely to be driven by patient selection. Would you agree with that?
The knee and hip replacement, yes.
Yeah. All right. And what power tools do you use for your hip and knee replacements?
Essentially, the requirement for power tools, I believe, is more in the, it's probably equal both in the knee and hip replacements. Like for the knee, you are using drills, you're using your saw blades, sometimes you use a burr. Depending whether you're doing a total or a partial, you might need a reciprocating saw, but otherwise the oscillating saw suffices. For the hips, you need oscillating saw to cut the neck, and then you need the reamers, which are basically provided by the company. So, but the tool which is there in your hand is the drill which you use, so that has to be good.
Okay. Okay, so for hip, you've got an oscillating saw and a drill for reaming, and then for a knee, you've got an oscillating saw, a drill, and then potentially a recip saw.
A reciprocating saw, and maybe a burr sometimes.
Okay. Okay. And then what about for your scope procedures? Are you using any power tools in your scopes?
It just depends what I'm doing. If I'm doing an ACL reconstruction on the knee, yes, you need, some sort of power tool. And in the shoulder, if you're doing labral repair or something else, you might end up needing a power tool.
Okay. In those cases where you may end up using a power tool, which power tool would you use there?
Where, in the shoulder?
Both in the shoulder and the knee.
It's essentially a drill.
Okay.
Drill with a power reamer, and the power reamer is supplied by the company for the knee, and even for the shoulder, you need a drill bit which is company specific based on the size of the ankle.
Okay. Do you know which manufacturer you use for your drills and saws?
Yep, Stryker.
Okay. Do you know which? I believe Stryker's got a bunch of different generations, or do you know which?
I'm using System 7.
System 7. Okay. And for your ACL reconstructions and your shoulders, is that the same drill that you would use in your hips and knees as well, or is that a different drill?
If we are just talking of the drill, the drill which is supplied by the hospital or the surgery center and not by the company, the drill is essentially the same.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get a different piece if the one which you prefer is not available, but on the whole, I believe it's the same.